Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly live immigration attorney chat here with Immigration for Couples. I'm Attorney Megan Pastrana. I'm the founder and CEO of the firm, and I created Immigration for Couples after my own personal immigration journey with my husband. I should say our immigration journey. And working with couples, we work with couples all across the nation and all across the world, helping to guide them on their immigration journey. We know that the immigration system can be quite a stressful labyrinth. And we host these weekly live immigration attorney chats. And we've also created a free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com to provide you all with clarity. Whether you're just starting out in your immigration journey or you're in the middle of the process, we know that having clarity and support is so important, and having a successful immigration journey. So I see we already have some of our viewers here with us. Eds, thanks for being with us again. I love that you're here almost every week. So thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this on our social media channels like YouTube and other social media outlets, I invite you on over to our Immigration for Couples Facebook page. And as I said, our website, immigrationforcouples.com, where we have a free resource center. But we host these live immigration attorney chats weekly. And if you are watching this on the replay, please do a hashtag replay. Let me know what your questions are, because really that's where I come up with a lot of my topics each week, is based on what is it that you all need support with, and what are your questions? Where are you getting stuck or confused or overwhelmed? So, all right. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have the topic this week is the top 4 tips to prepare for your consular interview. And this was actually a question that I received during last week's Facebook Live from a few individuals. They were asking, oh my gosh, my consular interview will be scheduled soon, or it has already been scheduled. And what are tips? What should I know? What should I be aware of? How can I prepare? So I have 4 primary tips that I give to our clients as well, that I want to go over with all of you here today. So the very first tip is, once you're scheduled for your interview, it's really important that you follow these pre-interview checklist. There's some steps that you have to complete before the interview. So this is primarily going to be a spouse visa interview when I'm talking about a consular embassy interview, but it also definitely can relate to a fiance visa interview. Both of those happen at a US embassy or consulate abroad. And so there's a pre-interview checklist. You'll get that by email. They'll send you an email letting you know, hey, your interview has been scheduled. Or if it's a fiance visa, you will typically schedule that on your own. Either way, you're going to get a confirmation that says, hey, these are the steps that you need to take. So you'll want to follow in very close detail the steps that you receive in that email. And then also, the National Visa Center on their website has a prepare for your interview checklist. Now with immigration, they have lots of checklists and lots of information about what are the steps you should take, but please be aware there can definitely be, it happens all the time, contradictory information. So you'll want to follow that email checklist, and then also the National Visa Center prepare for your interview checklist. Each embassy and consulate in the world is a bit different. In some countries, you have to go for what's called an ASC appointment for your fingerprints. And others, they'll do it the day of your interview. In pretty much every country, you're going to have a medical exam, but the location of the medical exam and the doctors that can perform that exam will be different. So all of that will be in that pre-interview checklist. So follow that very carefully. And in some countries, you'll register for a courier service to have the visa delivered. And then in others, you'll have to sign up for this a parcel service. So it really does. It depends. Every country is so different. We work with couples all over the world, and each one has their own flavor, their own unique checklist. So follow that checklist. Make sure you've taken all those steps before your interview. If there's a fingerprint appointment, if you need to register for the courier selection, and scheduling your medical exam early, or as soon as that you're able, because completing those checklists, completing those action items before the interview is key to ensure that on the day of your interview, you don't have any delays. So that's tip number one is follow that pre-interview checklist that comes in the email and that's also available on the National Visa Center website. Prepare for your interview. So the second step, the second tip I have is make sure you have all the right documents. Make sure you've gathered all of the documents that you'll need to take with you to your interview. So if you've gone through a spouse visa process, you have uploaded everything onto what's called a SEAC website. If you're going through a fiancé visa process, you aren't uploading anything to the website, but you still have to take up a pretty similar list of documents. Again, that information will be in the email you receive from the embassy. And then there's also a list on the National Visa Center website, prepare for your interview. Sometimes those lists can be contradictory, so pay attention to both. Or sometimes those lists might have different things. So you'll look at both and make sure you have everything in those lists. Typically, I know that there was a person last week that said, what is the list? What are the exact documents I need to bring? I know, famous attorney response, it depends, but it really does. And that's why immigration has that checklist in their email and then has that checklist on the National Visa Center website. Because if you were, for example, if you're in the Philippines, you'll have to provide a CENAMAR, a certificate of non-marriage. And then if your case is going to be processed at the U.S. Embassy in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, they require a long form birth certificate of the petitioner, of the original version. And then other documents that you might need. If you've gone through a name change previously, then you'd have to have those certified documents, proof of that legal name change. If you were formerly in the military, then there are special documents you have to take. If you had a traffic ticket or some other criminal offense, you would have to take those certified records. So it really does depend on your case. And that's why it's important that you go through that list specifically that is given to you in the email that you receive with the confirmation. And then also double check with the National Visa Center website. It like I said, it says prepare for your interview and it has the list of countries. And then you can see those specific requirements so you can be prepared. So that's tip number 2. Review those document lists. Make sure you have all of those originals that are required and make sure you are, being very diligent and following along to make sure you haven't missed any of those requirements. Because if you come to your interview and you're missing a certified divorce decree or missing a certified document, that can cause delays in your case and they would put you in administrative processing until you provide those. So that's tip number 2, very important. Make sure you bring all of the required documents. So then my third tip is preparing for your interview. I did do a separate video and I'll link to that here today about the top questions that we see couples are asked at their interviews. You know your information. You should know your marriage date, your spouse's date of birth, but it's important to go through your application before your interview. Go through the application that you submitted to USCIS and the evidence. Go through your online application that you submitted, whether it was a DS-260 or DS-160, and be familiar with important dates. Have those dates, have that information top of mind. Because of course, dates can always be tricky, especially when you're nervous. So go through that, review that. You shouldn't have to make flashcards or memorize, your information, but just have it top of mind. So that's my third tip. Review through everything that's been submitted so you're familiar with it and you can be fully prepared on the day of your interview. And again, I'll link to that video with those top questions that we see are asked. And then tip number 4, really, I think this is the most important tip. I give this tip to all of our clients. Take care of yourself the day before your interview. Make sure you get a good night's rest. I know how it is. I've gone through an immigration process. It's nerve-wracking right before your interview, but it's key that you take care of yourself, that you get that good night's rest, that you eat. Do you know what helps you to get through stressful situations? I love being in nature. I love going on walks, meditating. All of those things are helpful for me. Go through whatever practices help you to get centered, help you feel relaxed, to help you just be in the best frame of mind before your interview, because it's so key that you go to that interview refreshed and that you can clearly think and you can answer questions, because it's a very important day. So tip number 4 in a nutshell, please, make sure you're taking care of yourself on the day before your interview. All right. So those are the top 4 tips that I have to prepare for your U.S. Embassy or consular interview. I hope that that was helpful. And again, if you are watching this on the replay, be it on our YouTube channel or on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Immigration for Couples, please do a hashtag replay. Let me know what you thought of this video, if it was helpful, and what other questions you have about immigration. All right, so I have a ton of comments. Good morning, Lisa. Thanks for being with us. All right, let's see. And another good morning. Yay, Anna, it's good to see you again. I love seeing the regulars that come and spend time with me every Tuesday. All right. All right, so there's a lot. Let me see, get my bearings straight here. Okay, so Eds says you'll be getting married in December. Yay, congratulations. That's super exciting. And in my country, and then apply for the spouse visa after. Will it hurt our application if we also get married in the US while the spouse visa application is ongoing? So if you're getting married in December, congratulations. That's super exciting. And if you're getting married and then filing for the spouse visa, this is a really great question. I actually recently made a video about the United States and how the United States actually recognizes marriages that happen in other countries. So you will be legally married in the United States if you have a legal marriage in another country. So I'll definitely link to that video. I think you should check that out so you can understand how the U.S. recognizes that marriage. If you're just wanting to have a celebration in the United States, you don't actually necessarily have to go through that legal ceremony again. So that's a really great question. And like I said, I'll link to that video about how the U.S. recognizes a marriage that occurred abroad, because you'll be married in the eyes of the United States, like I said, as long as that was a legally binding marriage, which it will be if you're filing for the spouse visa. So congratulations on that marriage. You're very welcome. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. All right. Oh, Anna, that's really sad. Asking for someone that has the green card since 2017, been married with a U.S. citizen that she divorced and had to go back to her home country. So she's been gone and her green card expiration date. So I have seen this type of situation. Every case is, of course, different, but unfortunately, this happens a lot. A divorce happens, you're wanting to go back, be with family. With a green card, for someone who has a green card, the rule is that you aren't allowed to be outside of the U.S. for more than 6 months. And once you go beyond a year, U.S. immigration considers that person has abandoned their green card. So this is a really complicated matter. And, we've definitely helped people to still be able to keep their green card. There's so many factors that go into play. But once a person has been gone, that's a very long time. Once a person's been gone for more than a year, typically U.S. immigration considers that person has abandoned their status. And it depends on, it sounds like this person had a 10-year green card. This is a really complicated case. This individual should definitely be speaking with an immigration attorney. We'd be happy to have a consultation with them and talk about what options may exist and what next steps are possible. So please feel free, to share our website and our scheduling link with this individual that and we'd be happy to speak with them. All right. But yeah, that's such a hard situation and a very complicated matter. All right. Okay, so Eds, you're asking if you want to go through the legal process of that's going back to your question from earlier. Will that be okay? It can be. Yeah, it can be okay. Sometimes it can be a little complicated because you'll have really two marriage dates and it's not really necessary. Do I see couples do it? Yes. But you may want to consider just having maybe a religious ceremony if that's what you're doing, or a celebration. It's definitely not required, and you'll already be considered legally married in that country abroad. So it can be okay. It can cause some complications because you'll have those two different marriage certificates. If you'd like to jump on a consultation and we can talk through some of those complications, I'd be happy to help. But we do have couples who have gotten married abroad and then also get married in the United States, and that's fine. It's just not legally required. All right, but it can be okay. All right. Hopefully that helps. Okay, good. I'm glad. All right. I'm glad that helped and that makes sense. Yeah, you're very welcome, Anna. Yeah, please do. Please share the video. All right. So let me see. Okay, so Alex, yeah, your question was the one that prompted our topic here for today. So I'm glad you were able to be with us. So at the interview, do I have to bring my spouse's birth certificate or her divorce decree along with my civil documents? So it depends on your country of origin, and in Mexico, they want to see that original birth certificate. And divorce decrees, if there was a prior divorce, those are always required. So it's really important. Check out that National Visa Center table, or the National Visa Center checklist. Go to the National Visa Center website, prepare for your interview, and you'll be able to go through that list, and then you'll be able to see what it is that needs to be taken to the interview by your spouse. Okay. All right. I read. Oh, this is a good question. I'm glad that you're asking this, Joe, that you read to try to avoid updating your address on the USCIS website after you move. Well, this is a very good question. I'm glad you're asking. I know there's a lot of rumors out there that say don't change your address with USCIS because if you do, then your case will go, to the back of a waiting line, so don't do that. But failure to change your address with USCIS can be a big problem because USCIS is very clear that if you move that you're supposed to update your address within 10 days of your move. So you're supposed to notify them. You have to keep them updated. The reason that a lot of individuals are hesitant in wanting to change their address is because in some cases, not in all cases, but in some cases, like adjustment of status, that can cause you to move to what's called another jurisdiction. Like if you'd move to another state or to a different area, to a different USCIS office, then they would put you, back in that line for your interview. So it could cause some delays. But I know delays, they're not fun. You don't want them, but better a delay than a failure to update immigration that will cause bigger problems for you. So great question. Yes, USCIS requires that address change within 10 days. And you want to make sure you're doing that anyway, so you get notices from immigration. Hope that helps answer your question, Joe. The initial wait. Oh, I think. Sure. Okay. So I have, I'm not, so I use StreamYard, so it's a little different than what you're seeing here on Facebook. So it takes me just a minute to see all of the comments. Okay. So since embassies are taking so long to schedule an interview for visa appointments, what options do we have? Yeah, unfortunately, embassies do have a long wait time for interviews. We have seen, though, a lot of U.S. embassies, including the Philippines, have really caught up. They've gotten caught up since the pandemic. Mexico is still a country where there's still pretty long wait times, but in general, a lot of embassies and consulates have caught up. Sure, there are definitely still some long wait times. In terms of options, being proactive, having things ready, and being able to submit things quickly to the National Visa Center, having all the right documents when you go to your interview, those are things that can help move your case forward. But in terms of options to, quote unquote, speed up your case, expedite requests if there's emergency circumstances. We've done that in some cases for clients, and lawsuits in terms of that's something called a mandamus action, where you file a lawsuit against immigration for unreasonable delays. That's a tool that can be used if in very extreme circumstances, very long wait times. And then congressional inquiries can also help as well. Unfortunately, there isn't a magic solution, but those are a few of the tools. Expedite requests, congressional inquiries, and mandamus actions are a very extreme measure. All right. And let's see, I think, okay. I'm in the initial wait. Oh, okay. So Joe, you're saying you're in the initial wait after submitting the K-1 visa application. And I read in there you're talking about trying to avoid updating your address. You still want to update your address with USCIS regardless of your application type. Any application you file with immigration, you have to update your address within 10 days. So hopefully that Hopefully that helps answer your question. Hopefully I'm putting all the questions together. Oh, here, you clarified it. Sorry, my phone had a typo. I was trying to say that I'm in the initial phase after submitting the K-1 visa application, October 2022 filer. Okay, awesome. Hopefully soon. Hopefully you get some decision soon. Best of luck to you. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a great question. So, what are the benefits of having legal help, having an attorney help you with the immigration case versus filing on your own? So I have a lot of videos on this topic, but let's dive into this. So it's really important to understand, having an immigration attorney is going to give you peace of mind, and also it should help you leverage their expertise, right? For you, hopefully this is your first and only immigration case. And for our firm, for example, we've done thousands of cases. Literally, we've helped thousands of individuals and couples successfully navigate the immigration process, and specifically we help couples and going through it's immigration for couples going through the process. We eat, live, breathe, and sleep immigration. I dedicate my life to this work. And so because we're helping couples and because we spend every day doing this, we are able to be apprised of really important updates and details. And so to that end, that expertise can in a way help move your case forward, because you're not having to teach yourself immigration. Your attorney, your legal guide should be able to help you understand, hey, this is where we're at. This is where we're going. These are the next steps. This is how you can prepare and work ahead. So that's the benefit of having an attorney, is you're not having to spin wheels and teach yourself. And then also the peace of mind of wondering, did I do this right? Because it breaks my heart. I really hate to see when individuals come to me, they've tried it on their own and there was this one nuance or one thing that they weren't aware of that's going to set them back or cost them a lot of money to have to fix the issue. Is it possible to do the immigration case on your own? Absolutely. It's just a matter of asking yourself, do I have the time for this? To teach myself? Is it going to be more stressful for me to try to teach myself and wonder if I have it right? And what is it worth to both of us to have an expert on our side so we can just focus on our relationship and not trying to teach ourselves the immigration process and learn immigration and being worried? What is it worth to both of us really to have that guide, have that peace of mind so you can focus on your relationship and have that immigration firm support you and guide you so you don't have to worry about all of that? And for our clients, we're proactive. We work ahead. There's things in the immigration case that you can control and things that you can't. We focus on the aspects that we can. We know what happens next. So we work with our clients. We work ahead. Let's get everything ready in anticipation of the approval so we can hit the ground running and keep things moving forward. So in that sense, it can actually make your case go faster, in the sense that you would have someone who can help you avoid those common pitfalls, help you avoid those requests for evidence, and help you proactively and strategically work ahead. Does that answer your question? It's a really great question, and it's really something important for you to consider and both talk about what is it you want for your immigration journey. All right. Okay, so let's see. I have a few more. You're very welcome. And best of luck with your immigration journey. If you're just starting out, please check out our free resource center. All right. All right. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I really enjoyed doing this and being with all of you every week. And thanks for all of you for being here and for your questions. It makes it so much fun. All right. Okay. I have one more question, it looks like. Oh, there we go. I was pressing a bunch of buttons and I think I got the right one. Okay. So if we avail of your service, do we get assistance on the end-to-end process, including fill? Yes. Great question. So what we like to say is, with the immigration journey, we are your guides. We're more than just your attorneys. We're your guides. Just like you would be on an adventure if you're traveling, we're going to take care of everything. We will be in the driver's seat, and we will take care of preparing the applications, reviewing your evidence, giving you the strongest application possible. We look at your application as a human being and as an immigration officer. We submit your applications, monitor your applications, respond to government requests, prepare you for interviews, do a mock interview with you so you're fully prepared on what to expect, prepare your document packets of what you'll need to take to the interview, give you very clear instructions, and we guide you every step of the way. We like to say we're always going to meet with you and say, this is where we're at, this is where we're going, and these are the next steps. So absolutely, we take care of everything from start to green card. All right. Hopefully that helps answer your question. All right. And then regarding with immigration help, I've seen in other groups that people hired immigration lawyers, but they messed up their case, forgetting to file important papers and so on. Maybe that's why people, yeah, and I understand. That's a good point, Anna. And it's really important when you're hiring an immigration attorney, an immigration firm. It's just like any service, right? Medical things that you have done in your house. It's really important to thoroughly vet the immigration firm, asking questions about how long they've done it. Do they focus only on immigration, or are they doing a lot of different other types of law? How many years have they been doing it? What kind of experience? Just like the questions that Ed was asking and others. What is it? Figure out what is it you want for your immigration journey? What level of service? What level of expertise? And doing a really, really good job of asking questions. I think this is a really good point, Anna. And I see that on all industries, and it's important to thoroughly vet who it is that's going to be helping you with this important journey, and maybe meeting with a few people. So, and I understand, yeah, that that those kind of things, can happen, and I understand cost too. Sometimes people are looking at, does it make sense? So that's kind of why I was mentioning it's important. Make a list. What do you want in your immigration experience? What are your expectations? Go into that conversation. These are my expectations in my immigration journey, and you providing me with service. Is that what your firm offers? So that's a good way to kind of not circumvent, but get through those potential issues. Yeah, and on the flip side, I do see individuals who do it on their own, and like I said, it breaks my heart. You'll see someone who just didn't know something really important. It might have seemed small, but it has a really big impact. So this is a really good conversation, and things to be looking at. And then Brittany, you had a follow-up question. We are just starting out in this process. Is there a right time to look into working with an immigration lawyer, or should we have certain things ready beforehand? The number one thing that couples tell us when I meet with them, and even at the end of their case, the number one thing couples tell us is they say they wish they would have gotten started sooner, collected information. And so it's never really too early. And if you are in a position where you're not yet married and you're exploring, hey, what path is the best path? What path makes the most sense for me? That would be a really good time for you to look at an immigration attorney before you get married. So you're making sure, hey, I'm on the right path. Do I understand my steps? Look at wait times. That's what we do in our initial consultation. Your specific case, talk about wait times, talk about your goals for the future, and help you understand when is a good time for you to get started and when makes sense for your relationship. Where are you at in your relationship? So the short answer is it's never too early to get prepared and start exploring. All right. It does. We want to do it right the first time, and we're worried that we'll miss something out if we do it on our own. You're very welcome. Yes, I know. I'm always worried about that too. And Anna says, we have been following immigration for a long time now, and I've also seen great reviews for your services. Aw. Well, thank you for all the kind words. I really enjoy, like I said, I really enjoy spending time with all of you every week. And I hope that all of this is helpful for you. And if you have any questions that come up later, just do a hashtag replay. If not, I'll be here next week at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. I hope you all have an excellent week, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.